So, yes, I brought some Swiss Alps for you tonight. So yes, as said, I'm sure there is a lot of people here like me that have been propelled in a digital world. And we are commonly called non-techie people. You know, people who didn't know that actually the digital world had its own architects, that you shouldn't pronounce the webmaster term in any way, or worse, the computer person. So the non-techie people are often the techiest target, right? So for once, let's do something else and make a little bit of joke about the techie people. Because they are so often looking at you saying like, how will you survive in this world? So obviously we do survive. So my name is Saniha Ozem. I'm a digital project manager at Antistatic. We're based in Lausanne and Geneva. And yes, so I don't speak English but French and not Swedish. And today I'm not going to talk to you about a new tool, a new process, or how to assess risk. And I'm just going to make a little bit of fun and sarcasm. So it's a big sarcasm alert. Sorry if there are some developers in the room, because being more specific, I'm going to share my quite long journey to the backend dev pick and its hidden communication path. As said, DPM are often the developer's target, right? So let's make some fun about them. What's the context? A team of digital experts in front of you, a brand new job, a lot of incertitudes, hundreds of gaps, a fresh team, and of course, a bunch of backend developers, and a bouquet of tacit rules you'll definitely violate one after the other. Not to mention you're the only woman in the agency and can't even ask for a tampon, yippee. Jokes aside, it's hard to enter the digital world. I'm sure you may have faced the same problem when you entered it. Coming in the morning, saying hello out loud, and the magic does not happen. Or spending your 3 first months trying to understand the tools you're going to use every day, because there is not one only tool, there is a few more. And this man, that was my first backend developer's colleague I had to face every morning. He was kind of my saboteur, if we're speaking about sabotage again. That was the man I fear every day coming in the morning in the office. He was really my nightmare. Talking about nightmare. What were they? Because they were not only one easy peasy nightmare, or so happily called challenge. There were a few more things I didn't get right away. And I have a list of 4 things. Let's begin with the first one, the glossary. So, you know, when you enter the digital world, it's not only about the backend developers, it's about the terms. And you have so many terms that you will wrongly use, leading to awkward situations. I remember this first example. I was in a meeting with my boss. It was one of the associates in the agency. And I don't know why, I suddenly felt like I could be an actor more than a spectator. And the client in front of us didn't know what was a DNS. So I don't know why, I just popped in the conversation. And I was saying like, so my understanding about a DNS, and I continued like that. And then really unsure. And then I looked at my boss saying like, was it right? My understanding, was that right? Oh, well, that's cute. Thank you, Saniha, for your strong participation and knowledge. So at the time, I realized I had to write and publish my own tech dictionary. And that's what I did, Tech Dictionary for Dummies. So it's in French, but if you want to take a look at it, it's on the agency's website, on the blog part. And yeah, if anyone's interested in learning how what's this all about in French, you can go and take a look at it. The second nightmare was the tools, because then you can really go crazy. I mean, before I was working in an international company as an event manager. The only thing I had to do is making POs via SAP or open my emails, and that was quite it, or sometimes going on Facebook. So now I came in this agency and I had all this in your face, and I was like, okay. And you know, even something really simple, like you have to say something to someone. What do? Do you do it via Basecamp, or via Highrise, or via To-Do on Basecamp, or via To-Do on Highrise, or via Slack, or WhatsApp, or an email, or face-to-face, and you can really go crazy. I mean, saying something to someone isn't simple in the digital world, really not. But still, the biggest nightmare was the developers. How to engage and communicate with them. I felt like I was trying to engage with some foreigners, talking different language. I would say, what is this? And he would answer, das ist ein Gummi, except that I do speak German, so that was a bit like. And you have to behave, act as everything was all right, because the developers won't help you. No, 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 first you're just something really trivial, a small noisy fly asking stupid questions. So here come my nightmare again. And yeah, I mean, I remember like it was the second or the third day in the agency. And I went to him saying like, the client noticed a bug. And we were like in QA phase. And he talked to me and said like, oh, the client noticed a bug. Open the client's repo on GitHub. Report it as usual, saying what we have, what we want, put it in the right milestone and plan me on it. Repo, GitHub, milestone. Well, and that's the easy one, not to mention other words you have never heard before, like PR, branch, merge, bootstrap, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, of course, he won't help you, train you. Of course, he won't use thank you or all other usual pull-out terms that are options. And you can really feel this in his eyes. Hey, sweetie, you should know. And then he continues because even it's not enough fun for him. Then he comes to you and say, the browser use and its version are not mentioned. I can't work on it. We'll maybe do this next week, maybe not. Please tell this to the client. And by saying this, he will say, and can you lower the blind? There is too much light in this room. Of course, my dear bat, no worries. So, but then you still have a fourth nightmare, which is the client. Because this is really the nightmare number 4. And why? Because how you communicate all this to him, to the client? How you communicate that's, what's the best way to notify your client that your developer just postponed their work on a major issue because of a missing browser version? And how to vulgarize something you don't understand. That's so simple. And how do you popularize what developers are saying to you, like the answer is no, or their answers to question when they actually do answer, because that's not easy also. How do you exploit their estimates? Because they write to you an estimate. It's like reading Chinese at some point. You're like, is you really supposed to show this to the client? I mean, the only word they will understand is maybe a verb, or, I don't know, bullet points, and that's it. And their explanation on the bug source, is the best. Like, why is this not working? And they tell you this, and you have to tell this to the client. And that's the funny part. So, see the problem? That's the reality. Developers have unlimited resources in terms of logic and code, but let's face it, way less in terms of emotional intelligence and empathy. Sorry, dudes, for once again, if there are developers in here, that maybe fully sounds cliche, but let's just face it, lots of developers just seem to enjoy being the engineer archetypes, and that's also the reality. So right there you have two choices: lose your self-confidence, slowly but surely, or sing and pray, yeah, I like to sing, for hope. So, first thing, think positive, of course, like every problem has a solution. After rain comes sun. At the end, everything's gonna be all right. If it's not all right, it's not the end. Worrying will never change the outcome. There are a lot of nice sentences that can motivate you. Still, it will be useless if you don't feed hope and put some energy and work to support it. As real life is not a Walt Disney movie. Things don't go better like a magic jack-in-the-box, jumping and laughing out loud. You don't suddenly understand backend developers, hello world. No, it don't come like this. So that's what I've done first. I worked. And work led me to hope, and hope led me to work harder. I knew I had the abilities to learn, to scan and understand my work environment, win confidence and trust, and maybe, cherry on the cake, respect. And most of all, and sorry for being a badass poser, but I'm a good project manager, and I tended to forget this, even if I don't know first, and if I didn't know first what were PR, branch, bootstrap, blah, 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 I could lead a project. So suddenly the challenge, yes, the challenge came as an evidence. I just had to do what I love to, being a crazy and annoying chameleon. So as a matter of fact, time can be your worst enemy, but it can also be your sunlight, believe me. And slowly but surely, I was finally quitting the word of, in any case, she knows what she's talking about. And engaged with the people, we discussed, I asked questions, and word after word, conversation after conversation, I understood and I learned. So what were the learnings? They were a lot, but I had to sum this up and make some kind of, how can I call this, like 10 commandments? Do we say this in English too? 10 commandments, so let's go for it. The first one, learn quickly the basics. If you want to fit in your audience, you have to do this, like to get an MVG, yeah, it's usually an MVP, but I've a new word for today. Like UX, wireframe, user test, user story, GitHub, front-end, back-end, issue, responsive are a good MVG. Personas, dynamic style guides, Gestalt principles, web font, bootstrap can maybe come as a V2. Things, thingamy, thingy stuff, thingamajig, avoid this kind of terms. I use this a lot when I begin, really, because I found this funny. It was not. Really not. You have techies in front of you, you have to behave. Be specific. Prepare your question, define the scope before asking. And choose the right moment to talk and disturb your audience, because chatting is annoying. But still, please use the chat, or the chat in French. Don't just open your mouth when something is going in your head. Respect others' work and concentration. Number 6, observation, observation, and observation. Allow time for this, and be curious. Number 7, understand your audience. Understand each and every profile you have around you. Learn how to talk to them. And because as a DPM, your role is to be a conductor of orchestra, / psychologist, / analyst, / police, / orator, / mama, / motivator, / smooth operator. So, in the word of Nancy Lyons and Megan Wilker, technology doesn't drive projects, people do. Number 8, don't wait the others to help you, because you will wait long. And certainly, maybe more with developers. Empower yourself alone. This can sound a little hard to do, but really, don't wait for the other one to help you. Show your motivation to learn, and people will then consider you and come to you naturally. Number 9, ask, don't assume. That's an easy one. I have nothing more to say about this. And finally, be strong or die. So, if you choose to live, the sunny days come. That's my 2 colleagues. So the first nightmare I showed you before, he's not working with us anymore. Really, he was really a nightmare. But these 2, but still, these are front-end developers. It changes a lot. It's not back-end developers. But, when you pass this 3 to 6 months, even 1 year sometimes, and you finally feel like you go driving and you don't think about the clutch anymore, it feels good. You can come in the morning saying hello out loud, and finally people will answer you. And you can go to people saying, I have no idea what you're talking about, and they will look at you smiling and answer to your question, which is nice. So we're moving forward. That being said, internal miscommunication is a big challenge. Maybe even worse in the digital world, maybe even worse than the new job itself. But it seems that in the end, it doesn't matter in which industry or with whom you're working, you just need adaptation and patience. And I'm sure if you follow my 10 commandments, I swear you're gonna shine bright like a diamond, or maybe more, shine on you crazy diamonds. Thank you.
Thank you. That was not only fun and funny, but really informative. So thank you for doing that. Does anyone have any questions for Saniha? See no hands. Oh, there we go. Can you run the mic back to you really quick?
I just wanted to ask, When you did your glossary, how was that received at work? What did everybody think?
Oh, about my presentation?
No, when you did the glossary on your...
Ah, the glossary.
Yeah, how did they like it?
Yeah, they did like it.
Did they help you with it?
Yeah, and it was really cool because at that time, I think it was during my first year, and I was like, whenever they were talking about something, I was like, So then I went to designer, to the UX team, to the developers, and I was like, okay, give me all the names you have in mind about your job, all the terms, everything. And then I went to them and I was like, okay, we take this one. How would you explain it with real words, not developer's word or designer word? And I wrote, and then I understood what it was about. And I think they found it just funny because they were like, I was the first DPM in the agency, I was the first woman, and I was the first non-techie. So I think they were just happy that someone brought a little fun about their job.
Yeah,
it was great.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone? Shahina?
Will you help me translate your glossary?
Oh, of course.
I'd really love to do that.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, let's give another hand. Thank you. That was great.